Good afternoon. Happy New Year and welcome to BB&T Ballpark. Soon to be another name, we think, but that's for another day. Thank you all to the media for attending. It's a great day here at BB&T Ballpark and in Uptown Charlotte as we're going to be introducing our new manager. My name is Rob Egan. I'm the general manager of the Knights, and on behalf of our owner, Don Beaver, and Bill and Sharon Allen, and our COO, Dan Rakowski, it's a pleasure to introduce today our 22nd manager in the long history of the Charlotte Knights. 127 years Charlotte professional baseball has existed. And we're going into our 32nd year as the Charlotte Knights and our 22nd year as a Chicago White Sox affiliate. It's an exciting time to be a member of the Chicago White Sox family. As you've probably noticed during this offseason, there's a lot of activity been going on between all of the prospects that have been developed and are now the core of the Major League Club, along with the free agents that have been acquired, trades. The White Sox are going for it, and they're going to be a force, not only in the American League Central, but the Major Leagues in total. So we're excited. A big day for us here today as our manager is with us. And before we introduce our new manager, I wanted to acknowledge that part of his staff also happens to live right here in Charlotte. Went to South Mac High School, helps run a academy here in town, and was a longtime professional himself as a player in the Nationals organization primarily. And we're pleased to be joined by a member of Wes Helms' staff, Mike Daniel. So welcome, Mike, to Charlotte. And now to introduce our 22nd manager in our history. Wes Helms was a 1994 graduate of Ashbrook High School in Gastonia, so it's really nice to have this local flavor to our team this year and a homecoming of sorts for Wes. Now, he's been back to Charlotte as a player in the Braves organization when he's coming through the minor leagues. He's played at Knight Stadium in Fort Mill. He's also been a coach in this ballpark a couple of years ago during the 2018 season as a member of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs as their bench coach. He is also returned to the White Sox organization for the second year, as last year he was a coach for the Birmingham Barons, and that happens to be his off-season hometown at this point. So it's been a really good kind of meeting of things to come together with the White Sox family in Birmingham and now here in Charlotte. And after playing for 13 seasons in the major leagues, several of those in the minors with the Atlanta Braves and then at the major league level, and then he also has played in his major league career with the Brewers, the Marlins, and the Phillies. And oh, by the way, has a great family that we've been learning about, and certainly another talented Helms in the family that might be making some waves in baseball at the collegiate or professional ranks very soon. So we're going to be proud now to introduce the 22nd manager in the history of the Charlotte Knights, Wes Helms. We'll make it official here with Dan bringing over the jersey, and we'll hope we got the size right. We got the number right.
Got the number right. Oh, yeah.
Looks good, huh?
All right.
All righty. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you all for coming out today. This is real special for me, and Rob kind of hit on it a little bit. Two reasons. Not only my first managing gig is going to be in AAA, that's special to me as well. I mean, I worked hard as a player, studied the game. I knew I wanted to manage, but to get the opportunity to do it at AAA level right off the get-go, it just doesn't happen a lot. And for the White Sox to, believe in me the way they do was real special. And the next thing is, this is like a homecoming for me. I'm from Gastonia, born and raised, lived there till I was about 24 years old. And then I was moved to Atlanta when I was with the Braves. And then, of course, I reside in Birmingham now. My wife's from there. But my parents still live in Gastonia. And, it's funny, yesterday when the Knights put it out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and no one knew about it except my parents. I mean, I knew a while back I was going to be the manager, and my parents knew. But no one in Gastonia knew. And I literally have had about 500 people reach out to me, either through direct message on Instagram or Messenger on Facebook that don't have my cell phone number. And I'm hearing from people that I went to elementary school with that I haven't even spoken to since elementary school. And, a lady reached out to me. I went to elementary school that, owns a bar downtown. And now her and her husband are doing things downtown with that. And I mean, I haven't seen these people since I was in school. So it's real special to me that I'm going to kind of get to reconnect with a lot of people that, watched me play as a young player through Ashbrook High School and follow me when I was with the Braves that we kind of lost connections with. So this is real special for me, first of all. But on more of a baseball standpoint, it's special because this is my passion. This is what I love to do. And, being with Rob and Dan today, we kind of talked about it, that, when I was a player, I not only I did things to better myself as a player on the field as to help my team, I studied the game, and I studied the ins and outs of things. I saw how Bobby Cox did things in Atlanta. I saw how Ned Yost did things in Milwaukee. Charlie Manuel did things. Joe Girardi did things. All of the managers I had. And I kind of just started putting pieces in my mind as my career went on of how I would do things and, what works in certain situations that doesn't work in this situation. What's best for this player that doesn't work for this player. So, over the years I have, really put forth a program that I really want to implement when I became a manager. So I'm getting the opportunity to do that now, and, I'm real thankful for that. I'm thankful it's going to be in a great city, a beautiful stadium. I mean, you cannot ask for a better stadium for minor league baseball. As we know as ex-players, sometimes the minors can be tough with the stadiums you play in and the facilities, but not here. This is as good as it gets for minor leagues, and we're very blessed for that. But that's basically all I wanted to say today. There's not much to harp on until we get our team. We don't even know all the players we're going to get yet. It all depends on what the White Sox do, who they move around. Some of the Double-A guys, are they coming up, are they not? Once we kind of get closer to the season and get here in April, I'll know more about that. But I will say this, we do have a great coaching staff. I can't do what I do without a great coaching staff, and we have a wonderful coaching staff this year, from the hitting coach to the pitching coach to the bench coach. I mean, you're going to see a hard-working staff that is going to do everything we can to get these players ready for the big leagues, which is the ultimate goal, and to help the Chicago White Sox, but also put a product on the field that the fans are going to really enjoy watching play, how they play the game, the passion they show on the field, the way they handle themselves on and off the field. You're going to really enjoy that this year, and then hopefully that they're going to give you the time that you want if they you need to interview them and get information from them. So I appreciate your time today. I'm going to leave it open to questions now if you guys want to ask any questions.
Wes, kind of the personal connection you touched on. Minor league baseball is community-based for a lot of people. I know for you guys, you focus on field development, getting guys to the big leagues, but can that be kind of overstated, the fact that this is close to home and it's a place you know pretty well from I think your uncle was there as well, right?
Yeah, actually, he's not my uncle. It got printed on the back of one of my baseball cards when I was a player that he was my uncle, and it kind of just took off. And then it got printed that he was my dad. So honestly, I might be related to him, but if I am, I have no idea, and my dad even doesn't know. So I don't think he's my uncle, but yes, I know he managed here. And but going back to that, I did an interview earlier this morning, and it is the minor leagues are so big for the community. I mean, it is. Big leagues, it's nationwide, and players are watched all over the country. So being in the minor leagues, people in Charlotte know these players. People around outside of Charlotte might not know the players that are in Charlotte. So it is community based. But for me, being close to home, it's not the baseball side isn't going to be any different for me. I'm going to do the things that I want to do, regardless if I'm in my hometown or close to my hometown, or if I'm not in my hometown. So, but I think it's very important to, to have that interaction with the city and with the fans to build that relationship that they follow these guys and that they enjoy coming out here and watching them.
When you grew up, we got stories
I went to a few. I went to Fort Mill one time to see the Silver Bullets play the Knights, the girls, all girls team. I went and watched that, but I was so busy. I played 3 sports in high school. I played 3 sports in junior high. I never had time to do anything. I mean, and of course during baseball season, you know, I'm playing baseball, so I never really got to go see the Knights play. And if we did have that one time to go, we always went to see Atlanta and see the Braves play. But, you know, I was just so busy in sports, it was tough too. Mm-hmm.
What's your schedule like between now and spring training? What will you be doing to get ready for the season?
So really, like, we really don't do much right now until free agency's over. Once the White Sox finish, all the guys are going to sign for, you know, probably filling in spots in the minor leagues. Then we start talking about, you know, who might be with me, who we got to wait in spring training if they have a good big league camp or not, things like that. So it's just going back and forth with Chris Getz, our farm director, and seeing what, you know, and put in place an idea. All right, these guys are definitely going to be with you. These guys might be with you, and just put forth a plan. But really, the plan don't start with me until spring training when we're around the guys. It's different than the big leagues. You know, big leagues start right after season last year. So it's just hard when you don't know everyone you're going to have. But right now, it's just get ready, spend all the family time I can until we go to spring. Because once the grind starts, the family's the one that kind of gets pushed to the side a little bit. So for the next 4 weeks before we go out to big league camp and help the big league guys until the minor league guys come, then it's just all family time as much as we can.
Speaking of family, what was your parents' reaction when they found
Oh my gosh, they were so excited because I'm kind of in a position where I have 3 kids that all play sports, and my son is a junior in high school, and he's committed to go to Auburn, and I'm trying to spend all my time with him I can. And we just don't have the luxury to get up and come to North Carolina like we used to when they were young, because, you know, they can't miss their training, they can't miss their practices. You know, I'm really passionate about teaching my kids that if you're committed to a team, you do not miss practice, you don't miss things, you know. And so it's tough. And my parents have gotten to the age now where they just can't drive to Birmingham all the time. So it's special for them. It really is, because they know they're going to see me. They know that they're going to see the kids and my wife when they get to come up this summer. And, you know, so my mom especially is really excited about this. I mean, she's going to get to catch up on some of that time she's lost over the last few years. Homer, what's your favorite color? Navy blue. I'm a blue guy through and through. Will you be my friend? Always. You can hang out with me anytime you want to. Yes.
You mentioned that when you're playing, you were interested in watching how managers work and all
Mm-hmm.
that. Growing up, like in high school, you were at Ashbrook, and that was there, or even before that, was there ever a coach or somebody of that type who kind of inspired you, who maybe got you interested in doing that one time?
Kim Beatty. Kim Beatty at Holbrook Junior High. And I was very fortunate to have a great junior high coach, great high school coach with Peanut Parks. But Kim Beatty, to me, stands out because just the way he coached us as a team. And we were good. And we had a really good team. And I will say this, kind of, even as good as I was at Holbrook Junior High School, he never let me think I was good. And he always kept me humble. He always kept me working. And I'll never forget this. When we got our report cards, for every grade, you had to run a lap. So if it was an F, you had to run like 6 laps. If it was, so, you know, there were some guys running all day, and there were some guys that didn't run much. We had to run a lap if you got an A. And I asked him one day, I'll never forget this, after I was in pro ball, I said, Ken, why did you make us run when, you know, we got an A? He goes, because nobody's perfect. And I was like, you know what? I get it now. I get it. He never wanted us to be satisfied with where we were. He always wanted us to get better and better and better. And I'll never forget that. I never have forgotten it. I never will. And so he really put that in my mind and heart as a young player, that don't ever be satisfied. You know, as long as you have the opportunity to do this, you need to always be working and always trying to better something in your game or off the field in life, or something you need to try to better yourself. So he stands out to me, and I'll never forget him for that.
We'll have some one-on-ones and a little scrum over here as well. Thank you so much, Wes.
Thank you. Thank you.